Seth, Jaret from Content Engine here. Wanted to talk to you about what I think is the buzzword, the mantra, the most important issue of our time right now, and that is sustainability. Sustainability. The entire planet is going through tremendous upheaval, tremendous change, dynamism, all the systems that are in place, politics, government, our ecology, economy, Wall Street, business systems of all kinds, they're all in flux. They're all in a state of change. They're all crumbling because they're not sustainable. I think just on a level of global consciousness and even personal consciousness, everyone is recognizing, consciously or otherwise, this need to have sustainable business systems. There just needs to be an ecology among each and every one of us, and among all the business practices, and among all the business systems, where it's sustainable going forward. What that means is there's some kind of symbiosis. There is a way for our interaction to sustain itself going forward. It doesn't mean it's a zero-sum game, somebody wins, somebody loses. It doesn't mean that the guys on Wall Street get rich while everyone else gets built, and the guys on Main Street lose their life savings. That is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And we're seeing that just on a micro level in entertainment. And that's what I can speak to, are these unsustainable business systems and business relationships that have been in place. I mean, they're traditional. No one wants to change. Everybody's used to and accustomed to the way things have been. And it's not going to fly anymore. Those systems are crumbling. And that's why we're seeing so much difficulty with the studios maintaining their revenues, with people trying to identify and reach large audiences, monetize their content. Everything's in flux. For example, producers used to have some value, be regarded as having value to studios. So producers would have studio deals. They would be sustained by whatever income the studios would pay them. They would pay them for their overhead. And in exchange, producers would be sifting through the masses of material to try and find things that were makeable. They'd work on development. They would cultivate talent. They would be out there scouting for talent, in a best case scenario, of course. Well, studios no longer sustain or support producers. They don't trust producers. They don't give producers any kind of creative leeway or trust. They want to do it all themselves, and they don't want to pay producers to do what they do as producers. They're constantly dangling the carrot of getting your movie made without actually making your movie ever, and making you jump through millions of hoops, work relentlessly and tirelessly, push projects up the hill to try and satisfy this very, very narrow target and this tiny little window of opportunity that they might have to get their movie made. And then when that movie gets made, if it should even get made, which in all likelihood it won't, and all those efforts will be for naught, but in the event that it does get made, you're doing it on the promise that all that time and energy will be worth it. And if you amortize what producer fees now are over the life of trying to get that project made, it's really turning out to not be worth anybody's while. So that's one particular instance of an unsustainable business system, an unsustainable relationship. The studios still want producers to do all the work. They still want all the packaging. They want them to bring financing and elements that are appealing. They want to do all of that, but they don't want to pay for a sustainable way for the producers to support themselves, to be able to go out and do that. So it's an unsustainable relationship. As one example, that relationship, producers and studios, producers, financiers, that has to find a new MO, a new modus operandi, so that there can be something sustainable there, so that it's fair. Because studios do need producers. They should be relying on producers to source and cultivate and package and prepare content for their financing and distribution. That's what the studios need to focus on, financing and distribution, and not think that they are the center of the creative universe, because they're not. They need to rely on the producers to shepherd content creators and content creation for them. That is the relationship as it should be. And that has to work itself out. That has to adjust itself so that we move from unsustainability to something sustainable, where there's a symbiotic relationship that can perpetuate into the future, because each side relies on the other, each side acknowledges the role the other has to play in the equation, and those two things feed each other on a going forward basis. Sustainability, that is the buzzword, that needs to be the mantra of entertainment going forward from this point on. Thanks for listening.